Hi, how's everyone? Thanks for coming back. Hello and welcome if you are new. Glad you found me. We're doing a new reading today. I found a new spread I wanted to try. It's going to explore our passion, our direction, and our destination. So we're using the Tarot of the Divine. This is the fairy tale deck. I do not know all of them by heart. The ones that I do, I will explore those in terms of their mythology. But let's get straight to it. So, um, it was originally only a 3 card spread, right? But of course, I had to make it elaborate. So let's see what we've got. The first card is our passion. It's the fire that fuels our ambitions and drives our journey. The second card is the destination, where we're currently headed or where our energy is flowing towards, okay? And the third card is the destination, where we'll end up if we continue on this path or in this same manner as we are progressing at the moment, okay? I also have some clarifiers, positive and negative, and outside influences, energies we don't see, or situations in the future. So, for our first card, we drop this is the passion card. This is what the fire that drives our ambitions or drives our journey. The first card we got was the Four of Swords in the reverse. This was Fenrir, the wolf that kicks off Ragnarok. There's someone here who has been in a Four of Swords energy that's recuperating from something. Remember, the Four comes after the Three of Swords, which was heartbreak or betrayal. There was something that didn't work out, something that caused great pain and suffering in the well, I would say in the heart, because it is the Three of Swords of heartbreak. However, swords are elemental energy. So the Three of Swords is the progression from the Two, which was indecision, cleaved with the Sword of Clarity. And somehow that brought some kind of heartbreak or a feeling of betrayal. Something didn't go right. Now they're in the Four of Swords, which is that recuperation time after a heartbreak. So when the Four of Swords comes out in the reverse, it means somebody who has finally healed, they are awakening, and they are returning to their self. Okay, so someone here, this passion energy, what is driving you forward? What is your ambitions? This is to come out of some kind of heartbreak. If this is you, viewer, if you resonate with this energy, then this is you. I feel like someone stretching and waking up after a long sleep, okay? But this is an internal mental kind of sleep. You kind of just put yourself, this it feels like lower vibration hermit energy, where you just kind of take a social media break and you invest in um, healing from something. But this is like the healing of sleep. This is not the healing of doing the deep inner work, okay? This is trying to get a handle on how you feel and how you think of things. But this is a good sign in the reverse, because it means you're coming out of that something and you're healed. So, or I say you, I'm addressing you, the viewer, but this could be somebody in your energy also. But since this is our passions, I'm gonna give this to the viewer. So you, viewer, are coming out of some kind of slumber, okay? And you are returning to yourself, returning to your strength, returning to recognition of yourself, acknowledgement of yourself, and dealing with some beliefs that may have been limiting. So I do see that energy elsewhere in in the reading, but we'll continue on. The second placement is the direction, where we're currently headed or where our energy is flowing. We have the Hierophant here. This is White Buffalo Woman. She came down and brought spiritual law from the Great Spirit for the Plains Indians. This was how to conduct themselves in spiritual pursuits. The Hierophant represents the High Priest, the Pope, the keeper, interpreter, and teacher of divine law. This is traditions and instruction, beliefs that bring comfort and grace. The caveat with the Hierophant energy is stubborn Taurus energy. This could be going back to beliefs that were comforting. They were tradition. They were there for a reason. So you're coming out of something where you're healed. You are now healed, but you're falling back on some old traditions. It's like you rebooted to a previous version, okay? And you're functioning on code that may have worked in the past, but it's outdated. All right? And that's where the direction is currently taking you. But you're doing it because you felt some sort of stability there. Okay, so maybe you are, now that you're coming out of this healed and different, um, this also says awakening and restoring, returning. So you're returning to some kind of dogma, okay? Just make sure that it's not limiting beliefs again, all right? I feel like this is Taurus energy. I feel like this is somebody just falling back on old beliefs because they may feel like they're starting over. They may feel like they're at a disadvantage time-wise because they did spend some time healing and coming back to themselves. This could be you. But now that you're coming out of it, you're re-examining. You're going towards that traditional frame of mind, okay? So you're re-examining those things that either held you in place for good or bad, and you're determining their worth, okay? Third card here, we have the destination, where you will end up if you continue on this path or in this manner, and we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So usually the Queen of Swords upright is somebody who is decisive and fair. This is Libra Aquarius energy, principled, intelligent, maybe a little cold, but you have to be in order to be fair, and very, very precise. This is air energy, very intellectual, but like I said, with the Libra energy, she can be seen as cold. Libra is the only Libra is the only sign in the zodiac that is an inanimate object. It's metal. It cannot be influenced. It can be very cold. Its outcomes are purely based on the input. Okay? So in the reverse, this is somebody who's very indecisive, very severe or bitter, maybe vindictive or cold, or functioning in an emotional state instead of a logical one. Okay? So I feel like if you keep on the path, that's the destination, or where you will end up in this current energy, okay? I feel like the only thing revisiting these old dogmatic traditions are going to get you is bitter. Okay? And it's going to bring you into an energy of not being able to make decisions for yourself. And this could be somebody who has fallen back on those traditions because they actually don't have the energy to be proactive for themselves. So it's almost like somebody's coming out of this heartbreak healed, yes, but a little bit diminished in their personal power. So they're just kind of falling back on things that they always have done because it's always been done that way. But that takes away your decisiveness, okay? You're not deciding for yourself. You're allowing the tradition to decide for you. Okay, so the clarifiers here, positive energy on the passion. Remember this Four of Swords in the reverse. Somebody coming out of returning to themselves after taking that inner mental journey and healing some things. This could be somebody who did some therapy, which is always awesome. Always, always opt for therapy. And if you find that you don't resonate with the first person, find somebody else. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of different kinds of therapists. And even though they all may go through the same instruction, the Hierophant energy, they may all go through the same instruction, read the same books, do the same papers. Everybody delivers that information in different ways. They have different styles, different communication. Some things may stick out for them that didn't stick out for another therapist. Always give it another try, okay? It's like finding a lover. Sometimes you got to go through the lemons in order to get to the sweetness, right? So for this person, for you, viewer, definitely look into if you need to talk to a counselor, and definitely try different ones if you don't get the resonance with that person that you want. Here underneath the Four of Swords in the Passion, one of the positive clarifiers we have is the Magician in the reverse. Now, could this be a positive? I don't think it is. I think it can be a negative here. We've got a blockage, all right? There's a blockage in the Passion here for returning, being healed. There's a blockage in manifesting this healing. There's insecurity here, wasted talents and tools, and lack of inspiration. Yeah, there's no cups out here. There are no cups out here. This is all mental energy. We've got wands. We've got a major arcana. And we've got some pentacles. But this is all swords and wands here. Fire and air. So this could be heavy in your chart, or it could be heavy in the energies around you. So part of what's affecting your passion here is that there's this lack of motivation. There's this lack of results that you haven't seen, right? And then in the other energy here, negative or positive, we've got the Page of Wands. So there is vitality here. There is boldness here and optimism. There's a carefree energy. This could be an Aries energy. You may have that in your chart, or this may be somebody influencing you in your circle, right? But there's enthusiasm here and a feeling of being undeterred. I love that. It's like you're not giving up. You're coming at it new. You're not feeling particularly powerful, but you are feeling very optimistic. Okay? So the passion here, the fire that fuels your ambitions, is trying to come back from this heartbreak, trying to heal. But you've got the Magician in the reverse, meaning the energy just really isn't there. You feel like you're wasting your time, your talents, and your tools on some kind of trying to salvage something, maybe. Maybe trying to salvage an old part of you that was supposed to have been released. The thing is, underneath that, you do have this energy of vitality and enthusiasm. So draw on that a little bit more. It's kind of diminished. It's page energy. It's very young. It's maybe untested. Maybe you're feeling a little not up to the task, right? So in the direction here, we've got the Hierophant going towards that devil. I'm sorry. Well, I'll get to that. But going towards those traditions and tenets that have kept you solid, because you feel a little bit wobbly right now. You feel a little maybe emotionally or not intellectually, but like information wise, you kind of maybe feel like you're on your back foot here with something. So you're falling back on these traditions that have kept you safe in the past, kept you steady, kept you focused, okay? The problem with that is, like I said, we do have devil energy here. Capricorn energy, we've got Taurus and Capricorn here. Devil energy is there's power imbalance, there is ego, obsession, obligation, and being shackled to something toxic. be aware of these things, these beliefs that you're falling back on, that you're not going back to the chains that you took off in the first place. Okay. um the one of the other clarifiers for this is the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So the Knight of Swords usually coming in hot-headed, he comes in reckless, he comes in with a loose tongue, he comes in looking for a fight. This is energy that is looking for an argument. But in the reverse, this may be somebody who is very um, arrogant and closed-minded. Remember, air energy is very wide open and very um, almost, I wanted to say easygoing, but it's not always. The air signs can be pretty argumentative. Let's see who we're dealing with here. Geminis, Libras, and Aquarius. Okay? Geminis love to argue just because they like to hear themselves talk both sides. Libras like to argue because they like to get to the truth. Aquarius, they don't even bother arguing because they're too far above it. Okay, this would be Libra energy, the middle child, but in the reverse, in not in upright energy. So this could be something that it's making you a bully, it's making you arrogant, and it's making you not you're this also says extreme loyalty. Now, I know it doesn't seem like it should because air is very mobile and not very steady. So not a lot of people think that the air signs are loyal, but they are loyal to a fault. Every one of them. But in the reverse, this could be blinded by loyalty. And now here we are with this devil energy keeping you bound in something with the Hierophant, which could be dogma. And now you're defending it almost into yourself. You're defending it even though it might not be as healthy for you as you think. Okay? Under the destination here, we've got that Queen of Swords in the reverse. Somebody who's kind of cut off from hearing other people's. Um, she's not. She's not taking testimony anymore. Okay, not hearing it. Again, air energy, Libra energy here in the reverse with the Knight of Swords. In the destination, we have the Knight of Pentacles, slow. Again, Taurus energy or Virgo energy. Taurus or Virgo. Some of them overlap a little bit with their energy, like the Knight. I do give a little bit of that to Taurus energy because they are the fixed Earth energy, so they go very, very, very slow. But this is someone who's loyal and diligent, ambitious, efficient, and stubborn. Okay, so make sure that this reverse queen here, she seems to be kind of, I hear belligerent. I'm hearing belligerent. I'm hearing tedious, but it's almost like, you know how when you corner an animal and they lash out? That's kind of what I'm feeling here. I feel like this queen is in her reverse energy, so she's kind of lashing out a little bit. And the reason is because we have a 10 of Wands. Now, usually the 10s are a good sign because it's the ending of a cycle. In this case, you have the opportunity to end this burdensome cycle, but while it's in the upright, you still haven't put that down. Okay, it's growing out of something that's supposed to have been let go of. See how it's growing? This bush is growing out of a skull. Something's dead here. And it's just whatever came out of that situation won't die. And now it's burdensome. This, I feel, is linked to that devil energy. Something that maybe you've gone back to that was a comfort at some point has now become a burden. And unfortunately, with the 10 of Wands still in the upright, it means that you haven't come to a point where you want to put it down yet. Okay? But this is overburdening. Okay? And that leads to pain, overwhelmed and burdened, rigid, or detrimental weight. All right. Yeah, it's going to be too burdensome, and it's going to hold you back, because that Knight of Pentacles, even though he's coming in with noble intentions, you're coming in very slow. And it's because you've tethered yourself back into some devil energy. Okay, and it's making you rigid. It's making you not think for yourself. It's also making you not hear anyone else's perspective. And you have to remember there are other perspectives about what you're going through, because you're not an island. You have people around you, people who are influenced by you, and people you are influenced by also. So cutting yourself off just to listen to this dogma is going to really, really put you in a, um, what's that word? Restricted situation. Now, we do have some outside influences, energies we don't see, situations in the future. We have here the three bottom cards. Now, we have the Emperor in the reverse. And this is somebody who's feeling like they've lost or are going to lose their position of power. So all of this may culminate in you feeling like you are giving up your power. You had your power stripped from you somehow. And, when you fall back into those old patterns, you give up power. And when you give up that power, that's that devil energy. Okay. You give up that security to something else. All right. You relinquish your power. And when you do that, you become submissive to things that are maybe not in your best interests. Devil energy being Capricorn energy also is a warning that you're being kept in some kind of obligation. Um, the devil started out as the lovers. Okay, it's the lovers in chains, and the lovers card is a choice. You always choose. You have the choice. And you made the choice at some point. We don't see the lovers here right now. We are in that devil energy. So you made a choice to um, enter into some kind of connection that at some point was, the intentions were good, but now it's become a burden. And that could be the traditional religious kind of spiritual pathway, um, the the um, the morals that you use to, guide your what's the word, conduct. Okay, so you may have fallen back into something that you were supposed to break out of, something that was supposed to die. And because here we've got that Ten of Wands coming, and it's growing out of that skull, meaning something had ended, but the burden is still there. Okay, so you've got the Emperor in the reverse. This is somebody who is, I can't read this. There's anger, it's bully energy, it's cruelty, and it's being unfair. So somebody here is, I heard, I heard they feel like their power or position is being threatened. Now, if this is outside energy, like big picture energy, this could be the what is it when something circles around you? The energy on the outside of the politics of the day. Remember, the emperor rules government and laws and leadership. So in the upright, the emperor represents all four kings um, in their empowered energy. But in the reverse, this is somebody who maybe fears losing power or misuses the power that's given because they're not in a good energy. We've got the Strength card here, luckily in the upright, and this is somebody holding on through change and fear. I like this story. In mythology, this is Tamlin and Janet, and he was cursed, I believe, or hexed by the fairy queen, and Janet, who fell in love with him, had to help him shed himself of this curse, right? And in order to do that, she was instructed to hold hold tight to him while he transforms. And he said, I'm going to transform into some very terrifying things, but please take heart. I will not hurt you, but you must hang on to me. And he goes through his transformation. According to the card, he transforms into a bear, a lion, and then a crocodile. And she had to struggle to hold on through the changes and transformation and the fear. So that is the key to the strength card. So somebody is trying to hold on in the shadow of this emperor who is not in his upright energy. The next energy we have here is the Six of Wands in the reverse. Now, the Six of Wands, again, upright is a beautiful card. This is the idea of victory and supporters and being seen and being recognized. But this in the reverse is feeling kind of humiliated. There's defeat and futility here and feeling knocked down. But there also could be someone functioning in an ego that they had not earned. Okay, Six of Wands is Leo energy, and Leo has a very big ego, big pride, and a lot of times they're just all bluster. Think of the lion in nature, the male lion. He doesn't do shit. He's big and he's loud and he has a presence of protection, a presence of camaraderie, a presence, but he doesn't do much, right? He lays there, he roars, he very Leo energy is the male lion just is there to fight, fuck, and eat, right? So they may walk around very blustery like they're the shit, but they didn't really do much to earn it. The female lionesses are the ones that are the badasses. They raise the cubs, they keep the males in line, they hunt, they provide, they protect, they fight, they hold the pride together, okay? But this Leo energy here is in the reverse. So this is prideful and arrogant, but for no good reason. This is somebody who's full of themselves, even though they haven't accomplished shit. And strength here too is also Leo energy because it's the lion of pride being tamed by the Empress. Okay. I feel like somebody has to tap into their feminine energy in order to get this done. This is, yeah, holding on through change and fear, but it feels futile because here you've got the emperor being very harsh, being very oppressive, maybe a bully energy. This could be you, or this could be energies surrounding you. Somebody is in their detrimented emperor energy. And then on the other side, you've got this feeling of defeat and futility. And in the middle of it, you're still struggling. You're still fighting the good fight. You're still fighting your corner. So that's what I have for the Passion Direction Destination read. Let's get an Ancestor Oracle message. I hope this resonated. I hope you found messages for your highest good. If you're resonating with my content, please leave me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Everything helps. Everything helps the channel get seen. I am available for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. My information is in the description. You'll find my email, Venmo, and Cash App if you want to donate, or that's how you will pay for a reading. I'm not taking the drum again. Drum tried to poke out again. We got that yesterday. Can I get one? It's one, please, for the collective. I'm feeling like they're encouraging you. You have to take your power back. You have to take your power back, and it's going to lead you right back into whatever devil energy. That's that enslavement. It could be addiction. It's karma. it's chaining yourself to something where you have the ability to take those chains off. But like religious dogma loves to keep those chains tight. But it's affecting how you think. It's affecting how you think of yourself, how you think of your progress. It's affecting how you treat others. It's affecting how the information you get from others. It's like you're not hearing it. You don't want to deal with people. But this is negative. Give me one, please. We'll just take from the middle. All right. The Air Guardian. Okay, shift your perception. That's that Queen of Swords. Maybe you shifted in the because she is in the reverse. She's in her negative energy, so her perception has shifted. Maybe this is them telling you to regain your sight. Okay. Air Guardian. Is that good? Okay. It says change the way you think and you will change your whole reality. Yeah, that's talking about releasing yourself, okay? Release that the Four of Swords coming out of some kind of restriction. Release yourself from these old tenets. Tenets? Okay. This is when this card arises. It's an opportunity to learn about your way of thinking. That's that Queen of Swords. You're being guided to recognize that all you see is, not all that you see is exactly the way you see it. Okay? Sometimes the mind can play games, and sometimes our perceptions can be wrong. I'm hearing your perception of going back to that old dogma is wrong. And it's going to really throw you for a loop. You're not going to find the comfort there that you did before because you're not the same. Whatever you've been through, you've healed through some things. You're going to try to go back and find comfort in those old ways, and it's not going to work. And the longer you stay there, the more power you give up. Okay? That's not from the book. That was from me. It says sometimes the mind can play games, and sometimes your perception can be wrong. If you're being challenged or feel there's a lack of clarity and direction in your life at the moment, that's interesting because this is a directional reading, directional spread. That's crazy. Like I said, I stutter like an asshole, but my cards are clear. My cards don't lie. If you're being challenged or feel there's a lack of clarity and direction in your life at the moment, there is a good chance that the way you're thinking or what you're focusing on has a lot to do with that reality. You're being guided to open your eyes and your mind. Go beyond any limits you have set for yourself. Remember that old dogma, devil energy with the Hierophant. Okay, go beyond that, those limits that you set for yourself, and recognize the way you see the world is how you will experience it. Okay, opportunities are moving in your direction, but they will only open for you if you are ready to do the internal work to support them. Look at that. That's incredible. So, should we get some? I wanted to keep it kind of short this time. Where are we? 33. Yeah, we'll end it there. So, again, collective, the passion is for coming out of this renewed, okay? And finding your ambition again. You had the Magician in the reverse. There's something holding back your creativity, something holding back your ability to make changes for yourself. And you're coming at it with this Page of Wands. Like you're enthusiastic about doing this, but there's a blockage on you. And I believe it's because somehow you've come out of something healed, but you're finding yourself going back into old patterns. The Hierophant is that dogmatic energy. The devil is something that's keeping you chained that you need to let go of. The Ten of Wands is a cycle that is at its end, but you just won't let it die. Okay, now we also have some real good energy here, even though we've got the Page of Pentacles in the destination column. He is slow and meticulous, but he's slow because he's the only knight that comes in to stay. The other knights don't come to stay. They come to initiate and then they leave. Okay? They're not kings. But the Knight of Pentacles is slow because it's going to take a long time for him to grow that one pentacle in order to have something solid when he gets to his destination. Okay? We do have the Page of Wands, good, Aries energy, vitality. So you have the power behind you. It's young, it's new. It might be a little bit diminished, but again, it is new. So new gives the implication that there's nothing there influencing it negatively. There's no dirt in the power, of the Page of Wands. He's a little bit unruly with it. He's not quite knowing how to wield it because you're brand new. So that may be what's playing into this Magician in the reverse. You don't have a handle on your newly found ambition and vitality, okay? Now, again, with these outside influences, to summarize, you do have an Emperor in the reverse. If this is not you, this is someone in your energy that is being a bully or oppressive. It could be the dogma that you're going back to, whereas you once looked at it as comforting. Like the Emperor is all four kings. He's kind, he's brave, he's reliable, and he's fair. But in the reverse, this is all topsy-turvy. This is somebody who's in toxic energy. And so we've got the Emperor on one side and the Six of Wands, a defeat or futility on the other side, and somebody struggling to be strong in the in-between. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. I hope this was a good reading. Monday, I'm not sure what I have on the schedule, but we will be back tomorrow. So thanks for sticking with me, and until I see you again in the next reading. Okay, thanks, bye.